Herm Schrader on the Dirty Mo Media platform. From the middle of America in St. Louis, Missouri, starts right now.
This is where I'm supposed to say something next, right?
I mean, this has got to be... Charlie, how many shows have we done so far?
Ooh, I think it's about... This might be for Herm Schrader, about 21, 22, I think, something like that.
Well, it seems like a lot more than that. It seems like a lot more than that.
Okay, I'm laughing. So, Kenny, this is our 22nd show, let's just say it. And from now on, we'll do the introduction, and then one of us will talk. And pretty soon, you got to do the introduction.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's get going for a while first.
Yeah.
You do such a good job.
Oh, stop it!
You're our talker. You're our front man. It's Herm and Schrader. So you have to take responsibility.
Oh no! Don't start that with me.
Well, but wait a minute. This weekend, it wasn't Herm Schrader. We heard a lot of Herm Schrader this weekend. Yeah. But what else did you hear this weekend?
Just back at the Rock. Oh, no. Coffee with Kenny.
No.
It was a lot.
The Missouri.
Yes. Okay. Hold on, everybody. This is great. Charlie, this was awesome. Okay. So, as everybody knows, Kenny Schrader and myself were invited down to Rockingham Speedway, the return of the Rock. And there's a lot to say, but Kenny, we're going to get right to what you just said. So, Kenny Schrader and myself, we walk into the Xfinity garage area, on that Friday, and the trucks are running around the racetrack. And I mean, the Rock is back, and it's exciting. And, all the cars and trucks are going through tech inspection. And one of the Xfinity officials looked at me and Schrader, and we're walking right next to each other. And one of the NASCAR officials looks at me and Schrader goes, "Oh, look, the Missouri Mafia." I loved it. I loved it.
I loved the whole 2 days we got to spend down there. It's just when you walked in there, and not so much Friday Thursday, I guess, when we first walked in there, because empty racetracks without trucks and trailers and race cars and people don't look the same as when you fill them up. But yeah. Boy, when they filled that thing up, it looked like we just left her.
Okay, let's start right there, everybody. I'm not going to ask Kenny Schrader and ask myself what we did over the weekend. Charlie, we're going to ask you, though. Hold on. But Schrader and myself, Herm Schrader, we went to Rockingham. And, I mean, we left like on Wednesday. I went with my mom, Kenny. You went with your kids. Real quick, though, Charlie, what did you do?
Pretty boring weekend here in St. Louis. Pretty much, as you know, just rained all freaking weekend long. But, little Taekwondo Friday. Saturday, watched the Blues game in the playoffs versus the Winnipeg Jets. Blues played well, but they lost. And then Easter all day yesterday.
They finished second, Kenny.
Yes, Blues finished second in game one.
Second, yeah.
So, that's interesting because, that was a brutal win. I mean, Kenny, it would be like this. The Blues game was like, you and I racing, running 200 laps at Rockingham, and we come across start-finish line in a photo finish. We both ran really good, but you outrun me. And that's what happened with the Blues. They led the whole game and lost.
There's a big difference, though.
Yep.
If I outran you at Rockingham, I also outran the 38 other cars. They only had to beat one team.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Charlie's right, though. The Blues went on a run. Our hockey team, they won 12 in a row, got themselves in the playoffs. And, man, it looked like it was going to go good. But, the Blues lost. The Cardinals lost. City STL lost. The Battlehawks lost. It was a shitty bang weekend in St. Louis. It was no good. The only people did good, Schrader, was me and you. We went to the Rock.
Yeah, but we didn't get to race either Saturday because it rained.
Yeah, we were supposed. That's right. We came back Friday night and we got rained out.
St. Louis was just a rough weekend, but we weren't in St. Louis Thursday and Friday, and it was beautiful at the Rock. I mean, Chamber of Commerce weather.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. This complete Herm Schrader show is going to be about, I kind of deem this NASCAR at a turning point. Kenny, let's start like this. And you're the one that brought it up. This is all Kenny Schrader, and I'm just going to set Kenny up because I want him to talk about, and we did talk about this on the last Herm Schrader, but let's start from the beginning, and then we're going to take the whole show and talk about this Return to the Rock. So the show is titled, How Did We Get to Where We Are Today? That's what the show's titled. How did we get to where we are today? And Kenny Schrader, you reminded me, Chicago's gone, Kentucky's gone, California's gone. And we are back to Bowman Gray, Wilkesboro, and Rockingham. Let's go through this again, Kenny. It's your floor, you know?
Well, one thing I heard when we left Wilkesboro and Rockingham, what you always heard was from a lot of fans was, can't believe that NASCAR is leaving us. NASCAR never left. NASCAR didn't leave those places. The families that own those tracks decided, hey, our sport's rocking pretty good right now. Would have never believed that this little piece of land here with this racetrack on it and our 2 dates would be worth what it is right now. So now would be a good time to get out of the family business. And they sold their facility, and along with it went the dates, as long as NASCAR would approve that they could take those dates someplace else and that. So that's what happened. I mean, it's just like a restaurant in your hometown. If someone buys this restaurant, it's been there forever, and it's an Italian restaurant, and they came in and they own 10 Chinese restaurants, and they want to make it a Chinese restaurant, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, the new owners can do what they wanted. So we went to the new places, and we had some phenomenal crowds to start out with. But, our sport took a nosedive there, along with the economy, and a lot of things got screwed up. Fortunately, sport attendance and viewership is coming back up. It's a slight curve, but it's coming back up, and it's been real good over the last 5 or 6 years. And we wound up back at with a exhibition race, the All-Star race now at Wilkesboro, and then an Xfinity and truck race at Rockingham, and they've all been supported real good. There's nothing in stone that says that the Cup will wind up back there for an actual points race, but it's obviously on the radar, and it's something that could happen. We didn't leave Rockingham because they didn't have good crowds or good racing. We left because it was a business decision for the family.
I think what's amazing to me is, me, I mean, my mentality is to fight back. I'm going to fight back. I never heard NASCAR defend themselves because, in my opinion, all these years, 100% of the fans is like, NASCAR's left us, dirt racing type people. They priced us out of the sport. I've never heard NASCAR hold a press conference and go, whoa, here's what happened. It makes me think about how high-end business people like a Roger Penske, CEOs, Kenny, for the most part, these very mature people, they don't fight. They just let everybody run their mouths. Mm-hmm. That must be a business tactic, because I never see NASCAR defend themselves. They just let us all go. And then here we are, 27 years later?
I don't know how many years it was.
Well, we left Wilkesboro, which was forever, but let's just say, okay, I just know numbers, right? I think the last time the Cup Series was at Rockingham was every bit of 20 years ago.
Yeah,
it was exactly 20 years ago. So the Cup Series was at Rockingham 20 years ago. And I've never heard NASCAR defend themselves. And you and I were put in enough positions this week. We're not going to give up any names, everybody, but we were very lucky to visit with some of the most powerful people in the sport. And, you know, whether it was city officials or people that are around NASCAR.
Around NASCAR? Yeah.
Yep.
They're around NASCAR.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we don't want to give up the names because we don't want to get in trouble. But the thing is, our disclaimer is we know what's up by accident because we were put in some great positions this week. You know, you go down to the city center and you meet with everybody. Boy, Kenny, that's another thing. They're jacked up. The city's ready.
The city's ready. The county's ready. But most importantly, the fans are ready. They had a thing in the city square Thursday night, which we went to. They had a lot of truck drivers and Xfinity drivers and ARCA drivers signing autographs. We were there with them. We were the old guys. We stood out in the line because we was like, what here doesn't match, you know? And it was us, the two old guys. But people came out like crazy, and they had a potential disaster because they had entertainment also, and they had. I need your help here. They had the Marshall Tucker Band.
Marshall Tucker Band was scheduled.
Then you take it.
Then the lead singer of the Marshall Tucker Band, Charlie, hearsay had a pretty serious medical condition, and so they call Edmund McCain, I'll be this. So Edwin McCain, who was just on Dale Jr.'s show, has a very popular song called "I'll Be," and they are so lucky they got Edwin to fill in, and we were down there in some of the pretty big offices, and they were, they were upset. They're like, "Oh my God, Marshall," But I said, "Whoa. We had a medical condition. You can announce that." And by the way, Edwin McCain, are you kidding me? I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, we got to meet him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's really nice. And, I don't know which came first, the old saying, the chicken or the egg. I don't know if Edwin McCain was at Dale Jr.'s and they called him, or, was he down there because he knew about it? Regardless, Kenny, they got bailed out with Edwin McCain after our autograph session.
Well, and they had people. A lot of local people. A lot of people came in for that race. A lot of people said, "I went to every race forever, and I haven't been there in 20 years, whatever, since it's been closed." But the really fortunate thing with Rockingham and Wilkesboro was those facilities were still there.
I cannot get over that.
Yeah. The facilities were still there. Now, they both needed a lot of work. I think probably Wilkesboro needed more work because there's been some stuff going on at Rockingham off and on. But they repaved Rockingham. The back straightaway grandstands have been taken down, and they filled that with motor homes where you could buy a spot for the weekend. It looked great. You would not have known. And even the downtown festival was the neatest thing that kind of, told us Thursday night. Because we already knew Saturday was sold out and Friday ticket sales were going good. But the downtown festival, it felt like it was 2000. And we were doing something, Thursday night before Rockingham in 2000. It was packed.
Charlie, it was a time warp. I wish you could have been with us, friend. Hey, I'm going to say something because this is what I would say. Kenny Schrader would not say this, but
you say a lot of things I wouldn't say, but that's okay.
but Kenny, there's no way you're going to have to disagree with me on this. If you have an outer body experience and you're downtown Rockingham and you got this big old line of people and you got Raha Caruth and you got the kid that runs second in the truck race right next to me from Mexico. So I got the kid right next to me that ran second in the truck race. He's a Latino. He was a sweetheart. Then you got Raha Caruth. You got me, then Schrader. Here's my point. We were way more popular than all those kids. And I don't mean that as bragging. I'm just saying that I said a couple of Herm Schraders ago that I don't know what's going on, but it's, NASCAR has got to know. And then, Charlie, what did you say our age group was? Or what did you say? Hey, listen, I've had people say that to me while we were Rockingham.
People brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, what, 45 plus? A lot of 45 plus, 55 plus, for sure. A few 65 plus.
There was no children at the racetrack, was my point. They were all our age.
Our fans are going to be dying, Kenny.
Yeah, we got to do something. But they were so sweet. But my point is that when, throughout the whole weekend, I can see why NASCAR's worried a little bit, because, I mean, it's all our people. It's our age people. We got the kids in there, but those people, go ahead.
That's people watching our show. Those numbers are people watching our show. We need demographics on the people sitting in the grandstands.
True.
That's I don't think that lines up the same.
Those people in line. And listen, they had to cut the line off at about an hour and 45 minutes. We signed an hour and 45 minutes. We had to stop. And they came and they had Kenny Schrader's Budweiser cars. They had Kenny Schrader's Skoal cars. They knew where they were coming. They were ready. And Kenny, I agree with you. We don't have to exaggerate the return to rock. It was all like real. Like, oh, look at the grandstands. No, they were packed. Oh, look at the motorhomes. No, there really was a sea of motorhomes. Yeah. And downtown Rockingham, Charlie, what do you think about that? I mean, all the analytics you see. Charlie, you're the one that teaches me. You show me all that stuff. What's your thought of everything we're saying here about all the people in line with Kenny's diecast and over an hour and a half worth of people?
Well, knowing that you guys were going to be there, you were kind of the headliners, right? From your era for the autograph session. So if they know you guys are coming,
yeah, we're the only ones there from our era. So yeah.
Well, you got a good question, Charlie. You got all these kids, right, from the truck series. Do we know who they are? See,
we do, but I don't think the majority of race fans do to any level like they did from your era, obviously, especially the Cup guys.
So Kenny and Charlie, you're saying when NASCAR asked us to come to Rockingham, it was a good thing.
Yeah. Now, even though, I mean, Saturday was sold out before we knew about weather and all that. I mean, it was a week out, it sold out, but you kind of got a clue, if there's going to be a hurricane or not coming out a week out. Be interesting to see, the same thing 1 year later with marginal weather and not the first year back. But I mean, I think it was very well received.
Okay, let's go right there. We are rehashing some things, but we are kind of going in chronological order, everybody. How did we get to where we are today? How did we end up leaving? We left Chicago, we left Kentucky, we left California. We are back to Wilkesboro. We are back to Bowman Gray. We're back to Rockingham.
There's nothing saying we won't go back to Kentucky and Joliet. They're still there. Okay, so we get to this racetrack, and it's like a time warp. Let's talk about this because I find this very interesting. And Kenny, you and I were brought up to speed the first day we got there. Okay, so Rockingham becomes dilapidated, and Mitchell Stapleton has been to Kenny Schrader's shop. He's been to mine. Mitchell Stapleton is very popular now. The fans yell his name.
he has recorded all of NASCAR history. Mitchell Stapleton and his girlfriend are there, Kenny. And Mitchell goes, "Oh my God, these suites, I can't believe it." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "We were just here and the windows were broken out. Birds were flying through." Okay, so Kenny, I'm going to set you up because you know way more about this than me. I think the reason Rockingham was preserved is because we kept having owners trying to open it back up. But there are pictures out there of Rockingham, the grass growing through and the bushes in the infield. How did it keep? Who were the people that kept trying to save Rockingham, Kenny?
Oh, that's above me. I don't
Andy
know.
Hillenberg?
Andy Hillenberg, and his partner had it for a number of years. Andy ran truck race there. He ran ARCA race there. He might have run both the truck races there. Might have been Andy's. I'm not sure about that. But Andy did a tremendous amount to keep that place going. The problem is, you know, anything like that, it takes just so much money.
Look at this.
Feed it. Just keep
I don't mean
feeding
it. I was scrolling information, and sorry for who is on the podcast right now, but if you're on the YouTube show, take a look at this.
Oh yeah, it's just a photo of the track in despair, infield grass all grown up, the grass coming up in the start finish line, all the way down the straightaway. The grooves, the seals of the track aren't marked by lines; they're marked by grass. But you know, it
looks like a forest in the middle.
Yeah, it's been completely repaved, and it's standing tall now. But it did. We were fortunate that a lot of people had their hand in keeping that place, the dream of keeping it alive.
So we get to the racetrack, and Charlie, we take a ride around the golf cart. Bob Sargent, Track Enterprise. So Kenny, I'm not going to speak out of turn here if you feel like helping me. So Ben Kennedy from NASCAR owns NASCAR. He calls Bob Sargent up. Bob Sargent. Well, you know, sometimes people don't know everything, Kenny.
No, I said Ben Kennedy owns NASCAR. There's a family, yeah.
Yeah, so Jim Francis, the grandpapa. Okay, Ben Kennedy calls Bob Sargent, our friend, you know, dirt racing promoter. Our
partner. Yeah.
Our partner. And this is pretty big because Kenny Schrader and Bob Sargent, they're tight. And we're all friends. We all own the Macon Speedway together. Of course, you guys own Paducah together. Did a lot of promoting together. So it's a pretty big deal. NASCAR calls Bob Sargent. Now, Bob Sargent is really at the big table now. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
And everybody there.
Bob's also, in the past, he's run truck races at Milwaukee. He's run truck race at Knoxville. He's been down there doing stuff.
He's shown up. He's coming up. He's coming up the steps, and this was a big deal. But what I really liked was when you get to the racetrack, Bob Sargent and all of his people are wearing shirts, and on the back, behind by their collar, by their neck, it says the name of his company, Track Enterprise. I'm like, this is really cool. So NASCAR calls Bob Sargent and says, "Okay, you do all the legwork. You promote it. You get the track ready to go." This is where I'm going with this. They spend 8 months, is what Kenny and I learned. Bob Sargent and his people, they spend 8 months getting this racetrack, you know, back in shape. They rebuild the suites. They pick, you know, they do all this stuff. And Kenny, when we rode around that racetrack on was it Thursday, we rode around the racetrack. I looked at Kenny and I said, "Kenny," I said, "call me crazy, but it's like the Cup Series left here last year."
Yeah. Yeah. Now, also, you know, the state of North Carolina awarded quite a bit of money to some of the North Carolina racetracks. Well, a lot of them, but especially I don't know. I know Wilkesboro got a lot. I know Rockingham got some. I know the short tracks got some, but the state of North Carolina did quite a bit for the automotive industry and the automotive racetracks.
My favorite.
Someone had to spend this money.
Yeah, there is a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, Charlie. That it is an amazing, and nothing's going to get you in trouble. It's just like they kept pushing a little bit of money to Rockingham to try to keep it open. The city did. The city kept going, okay, here, we got this money. Okay, we got this money. Yeah. You not the owner right now, Kenny, he was a big article in the Charlotte Observer. He's all over the place. Everybody knows what he looks like. So we got so much more to say about it. I got in my notes here. But we get to this racetrack and we see the owner, and he owns, Kenny, what does that own? Does he own bars or tap? What does he own?
I'm not 100% sure.
So this owner,
it's entertainment facilities.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I think
you know where I want to go with this, but I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This man that owns Rockingham now. There's a man that owns Rockingham. It's insane. It's like, what? You own Rockingham. This one man owns it. And I guess they're going to try to, something's going to happen. Either he's going to keep, I guess the DeWitts owned it before, and this man owns it. And there's some good things, I just think the city of Rockingham, they got to make sure this never happens again.
But bottom line is we don't have a friggin' clue what's going to happen, but it's got a chance.
We know enough to get us in trouble, and we can't say it.
Yeah, I know, tell him.
Kenny's like, oh. But yeah, we can't say it because we don't know really what's going to happen. But okay, so we get there. We're they say me and Schrader are the Missouri Mafia. It's awesome. And then all of a sudden, there's a little bitty crack in the garage area. Charlie, this little, like if a car run over it, the car wouldn't even fall 1 inch. It might fall 3/4 of an inch. If the car's coming in the garage area. Now, Kenny, what was that all about?
Well, Jesse, right? Jesse Little, Chad's son.
Yeah.
That comes in. I've heard Bob Sargent worked with Jesse. Jesse comes in. It's hard to believe that one of them kids that was running around the garage area.
Literally babies.
Babies is that now. He comes in, and they, NASCAR got their checklist, and it's obviously very, very big, and it's things that have to be right to run a race. And I'm sure they come in, however far out to look at things, if it's possible to race. Then as it gets closer, the list gets smaller and smaller. But there's just there was a little, about a 4-inch gap there where the pavement had settled some, and that got fixed Thursday night too, because it's just things that have to be right. And Bob was very complimentary, talking about Jesse and his people and the way they worked with them and helping them get stuff done. But I mean, everybody, NASCAR, Track Enterprises, everybody worked their butts off to make that weekend a success.
I just found that my point of view is a little more astonishing. I looked at Kenny and I'm like, Schrader, what did he just say? I think I heard him.
It's got to be fixed.
Yeah. Because Charlie, in this new era, they got all these race cars sitting so low. I mean, the Cup Series doesn't even have a height rule anymore. So, they don't even measure the height of the Cup cars anymore. They got so tired of it, they said, just do what you want to do. And they're super technical in every area. So, NASCAR's back. And when you get, another one, Kenny. One of my favorite parts, Kenny, is when you and I were coming into the garage area, right? And you and I, we've got it all. We got all these passes on. We got our alumni hard card. We're big time. But Bob, our partner gives us this VIP card.
Yes. It's very important that card won't get you in anywhere. No, we got stopped by the guard going into the Xfinity garage, who was doing a fantastic job and couldn't have been more polite. But it's like, whoa, I've got a list of cards here on my sheet, and these cards will let you walk into that garage area, and your card is not on any of them. No problem. We got more cards, so we got our other cards out, and they let us in. But it was pretty neat because it felt pretty neat. Bob had us pass to go anywhere we wanted all weekend, and we couldn't get in the garage. But the guard, just want to make sure that guard could not have been more polite. He was great.
This leads me down that road, Kenny. We're all of us. We think we got the car. Charlie, I'm sure you have to go through this at a Rams football game or Cardinals. You got the pass. And there's a story out there where was it Bill France Jr.? He owns Daytona, and they wouldn't let him in his own racetrack.
Owns Daytona, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, the story is it's always so funky where Bill France, whatever, International Speedway Corporation, but I mean the France family for the most part, they control it all. And Bill France was very happy that the guards were doing their duty because it's the Daytona 500. And he just forgets for a minute. He just gets ready to go in, and we can't let you in, sir. You have no pass. And he owns it all.
Well, whenever we came out with hard cards years ago, they took the Kings away for a little bit. Yes, and he was going to have to sign in. This is like the first year because he wasn't signing in trailer.
Yeah,
and he called his office and told his secretary, said, "Open up my center desk drawer, and there's a little hard card, my hard card for this year. FedEx that back send that back to NASCAR office because they want it for 3 weeks." And then it hung up, and it's like, "How in the hell you been getting in?" And he was like, "I don't know. They just let me in."
It reminds me of that commercial, Tiki Barber. It's for I don't know, some credit card commercial. And the lady behind the counter goes, "Hi, Tiki, how you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm doing good." And she goes, "I need proof of identification." "I'm Tiki." "Yeah, I know, but let me just make sure you are. Okay, now my mind's working on me, Kenny. Okay, didn't you get in trouble at Talladega and they took your hard card for a couple days?
I might have. I don't remember.
Kenny has selective memory.
Yeah. No, I mean, I probably did. I don't remember what far.
Yeah, we've all been in trouble. But okay, so it's all going good, and they start the truck race. The truck race is good. They get the Xfinity race in, the ARCA race. But I want to talk about this. Look, Kenny, I don't want to get too lengthy on this conversation, but it has been going on for years where, just give me a second. Give me 30 seconds. Okay. The Brickyard 400, 400,000 people. Okay. Charlotte Motor Speedway, 200,000 people. Daytona, 250,000 people. But then we can go to Eldora for a little dirt race, and it's packed. Okay, what is packed? What is standing room only at Eldora? 23,000 people. One more thing, and then I want you to comment on this. Okay, Bowman Gray, packed, standing room only. 10,000 people. So we are at Rockingham. And boy, does it look good. I mean, it's packed, standing room only. So I want you to take it from there. Give me some numbers.
Well, I don't know all the real numbers for seating capacity. Let's just put it this way. full is full. I mean, packed is packed. So, and with packed, whether it's say mid-20s at Eldora or whatever Daytona is now, I don't know, say 150 maybe. Whatever, packed is packed, and with packed comes enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Because you want to be there, because everybody's there. It's packed. What'll tell a story is how it's received by viewership, obviously, because we got a lot more people watching at home on TV than we do at the racetrack, no matter what racetrack we go to. How sponsors receive it, because, you know, I mean, that'll have a lot to do with the viewership. There's just so much more that goes into it, but you want it to have that towards that packed feel. That definitely means a lot. And when Bristol was packed and the racing couldn't be any better, and Darrell Waltrip wins 7 in a row, and packed at Bristol was maybe 50,000, but now there's however many there, but it doesn't look full, and Kyle Larson leads 411 laps, the sport's no good no more. So it's just perception on a lot of that stuff and what people feel, but it had the good feel. Now, you take that same crowd, which was great, and you do it the second year and throw in a good chance of rain. Let's see what happens then. I mean, it's just, everybody wants it to be easy. I don't blame them. Hell, I want it to be easy too. But it was good last weekend.
Yeah, I call it perception and deception. Perception, and then it's like, okay, only seats 20, there's 25,000 people there, but there was 50,000 at Bristol. That is deception and perception, because deception means we're fooling you. But hey, Kenny, the CW network, I'm like a kid. I like their colors, black and red. I like their microphones. They got 1,000. Charlie, was it 1,058 viewers for Bristol? I think
1,058,000. Yeah,
million. Yeah, I'm sorry.
58,000.
Thank you for correcting me.
A lot of times you're a zero short or a zero too many, but Well,
that Xfinity series, it seems to me like the viewership is up all around, even for the IndyCar. I mean, they're finally at 500,000 people because they finally got a real network. But I agree with you, Kenny, what you said last week. You said everything is trending upwards. So the grandstands looked good at Rockingham. That CW network, which is it's just a local channel for you and I. We grew up with it, Channel 11. It amazes me that some people go, I can't get that. I'm like, my God, we grew up with that. But yeah, that I think the TV, even though we were a little afraid earlier this year. Oh, we're not. I mean, don't you think the TV's okay at the start here?
I can't comment on TV because we moved into our new place a little over a year ago. Yeah. And we got smart TVs now. Oh. And I didn't realize how much smarter you had to be to work a smart TV, but I can almost tell you by looking at a Big Bang Theory, a Seinfeld, which year and what episode it is.
You get those free, don't you?
I know how to get to them.
Yeah.
I know how to get to them. And it's like, hey, I'd be okay with this. Just tell me how to get to a guide. I could maybe figure it out. I just want to get to a guide. But watching Yellowstone now from the start, he just decided he's going to run for mayor or for governor. So I got a long way to go yet.
You're going down a fun little hole. Kim and I
not going to the train station. I know that. I don't want to go there.
I know exactly what you're saying right now. Kim and I do it, especially in the wintertime. You know, the race car's ready to go. You know where you're going. You got a couple nights. You lay on that couch, and all of a sudden you start watching one of those series, and buddy, it gets addicting.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you watched in one night so far? How many?
Oh, I don't know. We've watched probably 5 in a night.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Kim and I
No
found
commercials.
ourselves. Yeah,
No commercials.
You skip the intro, so
Yep,
you're watching
skip the intro.
Yellowstone.
Yeah, we got it. You can get it down as quick as you can.
Kim and I have found ourselves. I'm like, Kim, it's 2 a.m. We got to go to bed.
No, we just started earlier. Yeah.
Charlie, are you on any series ever even with the kids? You know, you got children.
Well, my wife and I did watch Yellowstone, and we finished it. I mean, with the kids, my kids are both into all the animal shows, all the dinosaur shows, Dino Dana, Dino Dex, the Wildcrats brothers is for animals. But we really liked Yellowstone. We actually followed that all the way through while it was happening, which I like, because a lot of the shows now where you binge them, right, where you can watch 7 in one night, which is cool too, but like to watch it every Sunday, like the old days, if you're watching an HBO show, I kind of enjoy that also.
Where am I at? He's just going to run for governor. He just announced he's going to run for governor. Where am I at in the whole deal?
Man, I mean, are you a couple seasons in though?
Oh yeah,
there. Yeah. Okay, so maybe
I'm
season
thinking,
2 or 3.
No, I think we're on 5, maybe. I think,
okay,
maybe, but how many were there?
I thought there were 5 seasons. I could be wrong. Maybe 6.
I don't know. There's a lot of people got killed already.
Yeah. All I hear is, Kenny, if you watch Yellowstone, I'm getting to believe it is the best series out of all the, Netflix, Hulu, whatever you call it.
And we was at Rockingham for 2 days and it never came up. So back to Rockingham.
It's hold on, yeah, we get off on these. Yeah, but it's part of the stories. But Yellowstone, man, is it famous? Okay, so we have 25,000 people that are all, the motorhomes look good on the backstretch. The suites are sold out. It's just a feel good. Everything looks good. So is this it, Kenny? As far as I got on my notes here, that completes the return to our roots. Is there, what other tracks are we missing?
It doesn't. We haven't completed anything. First off, we haven't run a cup race, points race at Wilkesboro. We haven't even announced anything for Rockingham. Those other tracks, let's just say Joliet and Kentucky are still there. We're kind of floundering around to see where is our best place to go. We're going to Mexico this year. And nothing complete. We're just out there floundering around, I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
We're trying to really maximize what's the best for everybody. But the seating capacity versus the TV numbers, I don't think there's a direct correlation there between how smallest track that they've been to in years for seating capacity was where they took the shootout, to Bowman Gray. So I don't think there's necessarily a relationship there. So when I say NASCAR is working their asses off to come up with, make as many people happy as they possibly can.
I'm going to say this. I feel like NASCAR, they don't owe nobody anything. I get that. But this is just me. I feel like NASCAR owes it to the fans. I know making money is the bottom line. I get it. But I feel like 2-3 times a year, we can do a feel-good story. And I still think with the TV revenue, the ticket sales, that's just my opinion. I know money is the root of all evil, but I feel like this Bowman Gray, this Wilkesboro, the grandstands aren't big enough to make money, but with the TV revenue, TV money, I just think it's good for NASCAR. I think these tracks are good for NASCAR, and I'm with you, Kenny. Steve Phelps, he's not the president anymore. And Steve Phelps, his job now is to go international, and he's going to take NASCAR. That's what they say. NASCAR says we're going overseas. So I'm with you. You're right. And I think the schedule almost changes almost every year. You think that would happen?
It can. It's up. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we don't. I'm looking forward to seeing, because it's just, every however many years they sign agreements with now, which I don't really know. There's just a lot of new canvas every year or so. So they're working at it.
Charlie, Kenny, and I we got to the Charlotte airport after the race, and I brought my phone up, and I said, Kenny, look at this. If you go to Facebook, North Wilkesboro Speedway, I said, Kenny, look, NASCAR is going to be going back here for a little bit, because I don't know how much that pedestrian bridge just cost. But if anybody goes to North Wilkesboro Speedway on Facebook, there is a bridge out of this world for pedestrians, and you're not gonna do that if you don't think you got a fighting chance. So it appears to me Wilkesboro is going to stay around, and if they don't, it will shock me, because that bridge is pretty incredible. They're not going to waste millions of dollars on a bridge, I wouldn't think, but I could be wrong.
We as an industry, we waste millions of dollars every year just turning money into noise, but who knows what's going to happen.
Hey, I know we're coming down to the end here, but that Chicago race, that's turned out to be a good deal. It seems like the people, in the city were proven wrong. In other words, NASCAR said, watch this. And NASCAR has delivered to the city of Chicago 2 years in a row and said, okay, what do you want? We'll get the track up earlier. We'll get it down later. It seems like that Chicago race is going to stay.
Well, you and I are from we're one generation removed right now from being in there. But in our generation, our friend, and he was like our boss, but he was like the school principal, was Mike Helton.
Yeah.
And, we're both Mike Helton fans, and got good relationships with Mike. And Mike told us the other day, sitting in trailer, how important that race was. Because it just showed, first off, it showed the cities that, yes, we lay all this out. We can come in here and we can do this. We can make this happen, and we can have everybody going to work on Monday morning. And then they could overcome extreme weather, when they had water running down the track and stuff. Deep water through the pits or whatever, and overcome that. That definitely shows the TV networks that, hey, we're not scared. And this is stuff that Mike told us. It means a lot when they know that you can pull it off and you're not scared to try things. So that was a very important race for the sport.
I think the word he used to us was, it was very bold. It was not NASCAR-ish. Hey, watch us. We're going to go downtown Chicago. There was a lot of things they had to pull off.
And I don't know all the inner workings, but you gotta point at Ben.
Ben Kennedy.
Ben Kennedy's been around. He said, "Hey, we can do this." So and they did.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people didn't want it to happen, but it's happened, and I tell you, I love it, because man, it is aggressive. They got to outbreak each other, and that Shane Van Gisbergen, that first race. The second race, now we got to remember Alex Bowman won. We've been there 2 years, and I remember, the city saying, you got to get this track set up quicker. You got to get it tore down quicker, and NASCAR has delivered. So, all right, here we are. We're going along again.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
So, Friday,
Yep.
Friday, it comes down to, first off, the people that wanted all their yellows and the demolition derby.
They got
They got it. They got it. But Friday came down to, guess what? A good old fuel mileage race.
Truck race was good.
Truck race. And then Saturday, it's a great race. But 4 hours later, which it's just the way it has to be. It can't be instantly because those cars can't go through tech instantly. 4 hours later, it's like, oh, wait a minute. We got another winner. So let's throw everything at the weekend.
Yeah. Jesse Love does a great job, wins the Xfinity race. See, I got a problem with this. And then Sammy Smith is announced the winner an hour or so later. Charlie, you did a wonderful debrief on that and got a massive amount of views. Good job, Charlie.
Thank you. Yeah, that was always I was just checking X, and you could see the Xfinity NASCAR Twitter account was updating all of their previous posts saying Jesse Love had won, and they were doing the update and saying, oh no, actually Sammy Smith won. I'm like, okay, let's do a little live stream.
Yeah.
You know, Kenny, we did have 3 different races now that we think about it. The truck race was super exciting, great race. And like you said, real tantalizing. Oh, is he going to run? You know, the leader does run out of gas, and the other guy, he's been on a losing streak, and he wins it. And who won that race? I got brain fade. Ankrum. Yeah. And then then you go to the next morning at 1 o'clock. The ARCA race is clean and green. And so that's a clean race. And you had the tantalizing truck race. And then this Xfinity race, my God, they wrecked the heck out of each other. I'll say, hey, Charlie, this is funny. Kenny and I are doing a Q&A. And this guy raises his hand, looks at Kenny and goes, I want wrecking. And I think you chewed his ass out, Kenny. I'm not sure.
I did not chew his ass out. I politely told him, said if he wants wrecking, he needs to go to the demolition derby at the county fair because this is a racetrack. Now, there'll be some wrecks, but if you really want that wrecking, and I think we talked about that at Bristol, because some people still want it. And when you get these guys racing that hard, they're going to wreck some.
I think the point, Charlie, was this. Sometimes we talk on this show, and this is the subject matter. Well, Kenny and I show up, and we're signing autographs, and then we do a Q&A, and the fans were right 20 feet from us, and they're like, we want wrecking. So we're like...
Not all. The one guy was, but I mean, they wanted events back at the Rock. And they got good ones this weekend. Yeah.
So Rockingham, it was a good race, but they did wreck their butts off. And that is that Xfinity series. That is those young kids. And boy, they are chiseled out. Those kids nowadays, they're in shape, and
they're running hard.
They're running hard, and they just don't want to lose. It's a green-white checkered. The guy's 6, and he's like, I can win this. And man, they're going at it. And that restart, I think the 16 car run out of gas, and that started the next pileup in the Xfinity race.
It's just like playing pool. You got to know which car to hit hard enough that he can hit the other cars.
Yeah. All right. Last thing that caught you and I off guard is, we grew up in Concord, We lived in Concord, North Carolina, and you and I always took the Dale Earnhardt Sr. back roads. We took the back roads. But for all the fans listening, Kenny Schrader and myself want to give you all some information. Kenny, tell them our surprise leaving the race.
Well, we went to Rockingham from Concord. No, I don't even know how to say it.
Hold on. Concord is New Hampshire.
So this Concord. Anyway, we left from our old home and by the Charlotte Speedway.
Yeah.
And we wiggled around some back roads and we got to Rockingham. And we both thought, I think we turned there is the way Dale taught us, but we're not sure. We're just going to go the way GPS says. But coming back, now we're going to the Charlotte airport. So we're going downtown Charlotte instead of Concord.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was some stoplights on 74 and then some new road that I didn't know it was there. And it's nothing. I mean, it's to get to Rockingham from Concord Airport or from Charlotte Airport now is nothing. It's a great road.
Yeah, it's basically interstate, Charlie. You know, you come out of Rockingham just a couple miles and then boom. I mean,
that couple miles is halfway, but that's okay.
It was it was way easier. We went down 74. We went down old 74 a little bit, but it opened up into I think from the Charlotte Douglas Airport to Rockingham. What was it? An hour and 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, all right, everybody. I think it was worthy. This is great conversation because we have completed this stage where, you know, we went to Wilkesboro, we went to Bowman Gray, we went to Rockingham, and so it was a feel-good story. It looked good, and they're going to do it again, Kenny. They're going to go back.
Next year's schedule?
I haven't, but I heard Ben Kennedy say we'll see next year.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Remember, I say that, you know, I'm assuming we have new viewers. If you want to see Charlie Marlowe and Kenny Schrader's beautiful face, hey, do we have any jokes?
Yes, we do. We do have jokes. So first off, I looked it up. Yellowstone, 5 seasons, but the last season they split it into 2 parts. So technically 6 seasons, but it's 5 with the last season split into 2. Also, just want to remind people, Dirty Mo Media, of course, we have the e-commerce merch line for all the shows, including Herm Schrader. They've got awesome Herm Schrader shirts, hats, and all that on the site. Visit shop.dirtymomedia.com to check out all the new stuff. All right. I have 5 jokes. I have 3 that I got from the internet and 2 from viewers and listeners. So, and one of them I think is pretty darn good from one of the viewers. So we'll start though. I'm going to save.
I got.
Go ahead. Go. No. You go first, Schrader.
Well, it got text to me and I hadn't read it yet.
Yeah, you proofread it.
Scientists have found that cows produce more milk when the farmers talk to them.
Well, they should hire me.
Yeah. Apparently, it's a case of in one ear and out the other.
Yes. I like it.
Okay, that's all I got.
Oh,
I like it. Okay, so here's the ones I got off the internet. Kind of corny. Where will you find Friday before Thursday? Where will you find Friday before Thursday?
I'm confused.
The word. Where will you find the word Friday before Thursday?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
A dictionary. Okay, kind of dumb.
Yeah,
okay. Good. Why did the frog take the bus to work? Why did the frog take the bus to work?
I don't know.
His car got towed.
Good one.
All right. How do you stay warm in any room? I like this one. This is kind of a smart joke. How do you stay warm in any room?
Uncle, we give.
Go to the corner. It's always 90 degrees.
Oh, yeah. 90 degree. Yeah.
A math joke.
Geometry.
Okay. I'm going to save, I think one I like. So here's from a viewer listener. This was actually last week during the Masters. It's from Eric Reese. He says, here's one you can use on the next Herm Schrader. Why did the golfer bring an extra pair of pants to the golf course? Why did the golfer bring an extra pair of pants to the golf course?
Well, something to do with water, you would think. I don't know.
In case he got a hole-in-one.
That was so good. That was
okay,
so
this
good.
One, I like this one here. This is from Matthew McDonnell on YouTube commented. And he says, what's the difference between a porcupine and a Porsche? What's the difference between a porcupine and a Porsche?
I don't know.
A porcupine has the pricks on the outside.
Oh,
Ooh.
Pretty good. Nothing against Porsches. That's
Yeah.
a joke.
That's
on
just-
Easter Sunday, the Ferrari Challenge, you know, I was over there, you know, obviously at Modena, Italy, and there are apparently some super wealthy people out there that pay to own a Ferrari, but they don't ever get to keep the Ferrari. And Ferrari puts these things on shipping containers, whether it's airplane. And there was a Ferrari challenge, and they all race against each other. They're all Ferraris. It's pretty incredible. Just bringing up Porsche and Ferrari and made me think about that. And I've never witnessed it. They said it to me over in Ferrari, and I'm like, what? Hold on. They own the car, but they don't ever get to keep it. No, we do all the work. We show up at a racetrack, and they all get in them. And it was at Daytona over Easter weekend, like on CBS. I'm thinking, man, how much do these things cost? What if they wreck them? You know,
It costs more to own it.
God, it'd just be so. I'd be nervous to drive one of those Porsches, knowing how expensive they are. But well, okay. If you want to see Kenny Schrader or Charlie's face, remember we are on the Kenny Wallace YouTube show. If you want to listen to us on the way to the races or wherever you're going to, we are on Dale Jr.'s Dirty Mo Media podcast.
Our faces are better for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look good. You shaved all up. You look good. I shaved yesterday.
I was down all day yesterday. I'm junked today, but I was down yesterday.
Yeah,
And
we
I
did a
never
lot.
get down.
Well, we did a lot of traveling. There's no racing. There's been no. We haven't been exercising. You know. Did you see the weather
All that
again?
exercise. Yes, I saw the weather for this weekend.
Oh, what is going on? I'm getting
Well, it's
mad.
raining on the weekends.
It better stop. This conveyor belt is beautiful on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Rain Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Beautiful Sunday, Monday. I don't like it. It's making me mad.
I'll make a note of that. I'll see what I can do.
Can you please talk to God? All right, everybody. Until the next Herm Schrader show, we'll see you later.
Bye.
See ya.